Hey there, fellow road traveler. Welcome. I'm John the Mouse. I have been in the trucking industry for over 20 years. I have been sharing different sites along the way and will continue to tell you my raw stories, expert tips, and must-know insights for your home and business to keep you rolling. Learn the ins and outs of heavy machinery, master road conditions, and drive alongside the different trucking lifestyle. Whether you're a driver, traveler, gearhead, or just love the cheese of the matter, gear up and let's travel this great highway together. Hey there, my friend. Imagine this. You are behind the wheel of a massive semi-truck. The engine is humming like a loyal companion. The road stretching out before you like an invitation to an endless possibilities. The sun's dipping low into the sky, painting the sky in hues of orange and gold. And inside your cab, it's just right. Cool air whispering from the vents. A fresh drink is chilling in your mini fridge, and a cozy spot to rest when the day's miles are done. Doesn't that sound like a good life? Well, today we're diving into the fascinating history of how semi-truck comforts turn those grueling hauls into something almost luxurious. I'm talking about fridges, freezers, APUs, ACs, and heat pumps. All the things that make life on the road a bit warmer, a bit easier. Stick with me, and by the end, you'll feel that same sense of appreciation for the truckers who keep our world moving. Let's hit the road together. Let's start at the beginning, shall we? Picture yourself back in the late 1800s. Trucks weren't the beasts we know today. They were more like motorized wagons. The first semi-truck-like vehicles emerged around 1898 with internal combustion engines. But comforts? Forget about that. Drivers sat on basically wood benches. No padding, no adjustments, just a hard slab of that wood, jolted with every pothole in the road. It was like riding a bronco, a bucking bronco. But instead of a rodeo, it was your daily job all day. Open cabs meant you were exposed to the rain, dust, and freezing rains. Freezing winds. Heating, if you're lucky, a rudimentary exhaust system might pipe some warmth to your way. But it was unreliable and often dangerous due to the carbon monoxide risk. Mack trucks introduced their AC model. No, not the air conditioning, but a closed cap design that finally shielded drivers from the elements. This was a game changer, like stepping from an open-air buggy into a cozy cabin. Suddenly you could drive without swallowing bugs or battling blizzards head-on. By the 1920s, pneumatic tires were added, smoothing out the ride and reducing vibrations that could rattle your bones after a long haul. Think of it as upgrading from wooden wagon wheels to modern shocks. Your back would thank you. Now let's talk about Iowa 80 Trucking Museum, a treasure trove right off the Interstate 80 in Walcott, Iowa. This place is like a time machine for trucking enthusiasts. Founded by Bill Moon, the visionary behind the world's largest truck stop, it houses over 100 vintage trucks that showcase this evolution. Take their 1903 Eltridge, the oldest known American-made truck. It's basically a horse-drawn wagon with an engine slapped on it. No cab comforts here. The driver is exposed on a simple seat. Or check out the 1910 Avery Tractor gasoline farm wagon exhibit. Still very basic, but hinting at the shift forward enclosed spaces for better protection. These displays aren't just relics. They're stories of ingenuity, showing how early inventors prioritized function over fluff. But they laid the groundwork for what was to come. As we cruise into the 1930s and 1940s, things started getting comfier. Seats evolved from those unforgiving benches to spring-sprung designs with basic upholstery. Imagine it's like going from a park bench to a cushy armchair. It's not luxurious, but a step up. Ergonomics entered into the chat around the mid-century with adjustable heights and lumbar supports to combat back pain, a common plague for long-haul truck drivers. Studies from the era, like those from the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, began highlighting how poor seating led to fatigue and accidents. One report notes that the cab design directly impacts driver posture, reducing strain and improving alertness. It's simple. A comfortable driver is a safe driver. Think about how these changes weren't just about luxury. They're about keeping folks like you safe and sound. Heating systems improved too. Early heat came from engine exhaust, but by the 1940s, dedicated heaters with blowers became standard, using coolant loops for efficient warmth. No more freezing toes on winter runs. And air conditioning? Well, that's a cooler story. While cars got AC in the 1930s, Packard pioneered it in 1939 with a bulky trunk-mounted system. Trucks lagged a bit. By the 1950s, roof-mounted evaporative coolers appeared on some rigs, essentially swamp coolers that used water evaporation for cooling. But true compressor-based ACs hit the trucks in the 1960s, integrated into dashboards for better efficiency. The technical nitty-gritty of these systems use refrigerants like R12. Later on, of course, they changed it to R134A. With these compressors given by the engine belt, evaporators in the cab, and condensers up front. Efficiency? Early units could drop cab temps by 20 to 30 degrees Fahrenheit. A lifesaver in the sweltering summer heats. It's like having a personal oasis in a desert. No more sweating through your shirt while hauling freight. Back to the museum, their 1925 Kenworth KS 3-ton exhibit, part of the 100 Years of Trucking display, shows early closed cabs with basic heating vents. No AC yet, but you can see the progression from the open designs. And the 1934 GMC truck and trailer, it features an early enclosed cab with improved seating, hinting at comfort focus. Photos from the museum site show these beauties restored to the gleaming perfection. Check out the polished wood dash and simple gauges that scream vintage charm. Enter into the sleeper cab era. Friend, this is where the trucking feels like home. Rudimentary sleepers popping up in the 1940s, just as a bunk behind the seat for over-the-road drivers. By the 1970s, they grew into full compartments with insulation for noise and temperature control. Heat pumps, these reversible AC systems, using the same refrigerant cycle but in reverse for the heating, became popular in the 1980s. Technically, they transfer the heat rather than generate it, making them 2 to 3 times more efficient than resistance heaters. Think of it more coefficient of performance. No more idling the big engine just to stay warm. It's smarter, greener. Now fridges and freezers in the cab. Not the big reefers for the cargo, but handy mini ones for your snacks and food. Cargo reefers started in 1925 for ice cream trucks, with mechanical units by Fred Jones in 1935. But cab fridges, they hit in the 1980s with sleeper expansions. Early models were thermoelectric coolers using Peltier effect for silent operation. No compressor noise. Power draw is about 50 to 100 watts. Perfect for a 12-volt system. By the 1990s, compressors, minis with freezers became standard, holding 20 to 40 liters and keeping the temperatures at 35 degrees Fahrenheit for the fridge and 0 degrees for the freezer. Imagine pulling over, grabbing a cold soda from your own fridge. It's like having a kitchen on wheels. Studies show this boosts health. NCBI report found truckers with a better amenity had lower obesity rates, as they could store fresh food instead of fast junk. And APU units? Oh, these are the unsung heroes. Invented in 1984 by Trucker Rex Greener as the Pony Pack. The APUs are small diesel or electric generators that power AC, heat, and appliances without running the main engine of the truck. Why? Anti-idling laws in states like California banned long idles to cut emissions. The typical diesel APU unit outputs 5 to 10 kilowatt hours of electricity with fuel efficient at 0.2 to 0.4 gallons per hour, saving about 80% on fuel versus idling. Electric versions, booming now, use lithium-ion batteries that hold 200 to 300 amp hours for silent zero-emission operation. It's like your truck personal power plant, like a generator at a campsite, keeping the lights on without disturbing the peace. Of course, with these batteries, it's more of a storage unit than an actual power plant. At the Iowa 80 Museum, exhibits like Peterbilt. It shows mid-century sleepers with the basic bunks, no frills. Contrast that to the later models throughout the museum that focus on antiques. Their film highlights how APUs and fridges revolutionized over-the-road life. One display features antique signs from the 1950s promoting comfort cabs, underscoring the shift. Let's geek out on the impacts because facts matter. A 2024 ATRI study shows Detention time worsens fatigue, but comforts like the APU cuts it down by allowing rest without idling fines. Another from the MDPI, economic cabs reduce risky behaviors by 20 to 30% as comfy drivers stay alert longer. Health-wise, NIOSH links better ventilation and temperature control to lower diabetes risks. Truckers average at higher rates, but this helps. These improvements aren't just tech. They are lifelines fostering a warmer, more humane industry. As we wrap up this journey, remember, from those dusty early rigs to today, high-tech homes on wheels, semi-truck comforts have evolved to honor the drivers who power our economy. Next time you see a trucker, give them a wave. They're out here, comfortable and capable of doing their work. Thanks to decades of progress. Stay safe, stay positive, and keep rolling. I truly appreciate you spending time with us today. Thank you for watching. I would love to see you as part of the John the Mouse University. I can't wait to see you there. Here's a few videos you might enjoy. Thanks again. Until we meet again.